friends, in today's video we're going to talk about this piece of art called Fuchsia. It's pretty obvious why I named it that. Hot pink is probably my favorite color, and when I look up what it represents, Google says that it's energy, boldness, and playfulness associated with youth, confidence, and self-expression. I agree. I think it's a pretty accurate description. When you paint something pink, you're definitely making a statement. And I love that hot pink, how it makes me feel like in my energy. It just makes me happy. And how are people saying that these days? It's raising my vibrations or something. But it also makes me feel young a little bit. And I think that it's important to keep your youth in your heart, you know, in your mind and your heart. Keep thinking young. Anyway, I started as I normally do, intuitively creating my boundary lines with a circle template and a ruler. I did it in a light pencil, and then I covered the lines with masking fluid. It's weird because I really like this polygon shape here. This, what do you call it? A quadrilateral, I think is what it's called. But anyway, it's really funny that when I got done with it, that it was pink, like hot pink and mint green, because I did this painting on Christmas Eve. I think the reason why I picked these colors is because you know, Christmas is red and green, and I think I was trying to vary the hues of those main colors just to get a little something different. I'm not really into pinks for Christmas, which I told you in the last video. And this looks like way more like a Valentine's Day or an Easter painting that I did on Christmas Eve. The colors also remind me a little bit of ice cream. You know what I'm saying? The mint and bubblegum, or I don't know. It also reminds me of the 1980s. I remember wearing these colors together back then. And I also remember wearing this light pink with gray. That was so popular. Yeah, the 80s. Boy, that was a long time ago. And I also just want to mention that if you're looking at the image on the computer, the backlighting from the computer makes it show up a little bit brighter than it actually is, which I wish I could get that fluorescent feel, because that's one of the things I loved in the 80s was the fluorescent clothes. And I remember Ocean Pacific had fluorescent green and pink and yellow, and I loved them. They were just like my favorite. I feel like the central focus of this piece fell a little flat. I do enjoy how the patterns kind of draw your eyes around the canvas though, and another thing that really pleased me about this is the watercolor washes underneath. I was starting to experiment with my watercolors, and I was like dropping more darker colors in one corner, or like here you can see there's a little bit more colors, like varying hues in this box. And I think one of them like here I was kind of starting to dab up with the Kleenex to get some different textures, and I really like the textures in the piece. So I did my kind of normal thing where I put like an odd number of circular shapes to balance the canvas, but you can see up here and down here where the line patterns in the shapes actually accentuate the roundness and the shape of those spaces, which I like that, and it's in juxtaposition to this one, so it really creates a lot of interest on the left side of the paper. I think I really love the patterns in here. I really like the line work up here and on this side, and that kind of balances. Of course, I always love my curlicues and wavy lines. They're just fun and meditative to do. The minty green with the faded splashes of pink has become, I almost feel like that's more of a focal point because it's such a contrast in color. But then even though it's a contrast, when your eyes land on it, because the pink splotches are kind of faded, it's very soothing to look at that pattern. And then I really love these leafy shapes. That was a new pattern that I created here. And the problem with this was supposed to be the central focus, and the problem with that is I don't like the plaid in the center. I do like the plaid as a pattern. I wish I had put it on the outside more. If I had it to do over, which I can never duplicate a piece. Every single one of these is one of a kind. even if I went in and tried to copy the patterns, it would not look the same. If I had it to do over again, though, I would move the plaid pattern to the outside, and then I would probably put like a giant leaf in the center, or maybe even something that's more of a vignette scene type thing. But you know, that's part of the beauty of the art of doing the work, is exploring, and then having things fall flat sometimes is how you kind of learn, and you adapt and change and shift and whatever. Yeah, sometimes the decisions that you make in your art, they just don't work out the best, but it's all right. I still like the piece overall. I love the pinks. The paints, the watercolors I used were Daniel Smith, and they are saturated and vivid colors that are just gorgeous. I really love them. But I wanted to talk about the name of the piece. It's called Fuchsia, right? I said that already. But what's so funny is that the name itself was a learning moment for me, because I misspelled the word. For years, I've been misspelling the word. To me, it makes no sense that the CH comes before the S in the word, because you spell it Fuchsia. To me, that sounds like it should be read as Fuchsia or Fuchsia. And so I've been writing it with the S before the CH, and maybe that's not very interesting to you, but it was something that really frustrated me when I discovered that I had been spelling it wrong, because I even submitted it to a critique with the name spelled wrong. When I was young, I was a really good speller, and I prided myself in my spelling, and even when social media came out, I was really particular about other people's grammar, and I used to get very frustrated by it. And I won't say the word that that used to be called that, because it's just not PC and I don't want to get flagged. But yeah, it was really hard for me. Change sometimes is really hard for me, so it's been kind of dramatic, just trying to like relearn how to spell a word. You know, changing habits are difficult, especially when you've been doing them for so many years. But the English language is just so fluid, and it's ever changing, and you have to accept that and I guess move on with your life, right? So I am happy to report that I know how to spell it now, and I know how to pronounce it. Fuchsia. So anyway, I hope that you like the painting, and if you like the video, I hope you like and subscribe and share it with someone else that you think might like it. I just want to share some joy and peace in the world, and just wish you that God bless you. All right, have a good one. Thanks for watching. Bye.